Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, we're going to play an Izzet Discard. Now, with the release of Aetherdrift, we are given a few new discard synergy cards that allow us to play a cycling deck that doesn't just go off of a flare, but rather off of these creatures, a Marauding Mako and a Scrounging Skyray. These cards are insane because it's not a once per turn trigger like a lot of the things that Wizard likes to do nowadays. These are as many times as we can. Every time we discard, our Mako and our Skyray each get a +1/+1 counter. And they also have cycling so that if we have a bunch of them in our hand, they can be an enabler for the other ones that we have on board. That's insane because these will get real big, real quick. And the idea of this deck is that we have a lot of cycling that allow us to pump these small creatures, but it will also have Inti. Inti will allow these small creatures to have trample. In addition to that, Inti also help us with the discard every turn. We also have Kiora. When we're discarding that many cards, Kiora is going to give us a Scion of the Deep whenever we hit Threshold, which isn't that hard to do, right? We just need to have 7 or more cards. I always get this confused because it summons an 8/8, but you don't need 8 cards. I always think in my head that I need 8 cards in the graveyard. You only need 7, and that's very easy to trigger with a bunch of our discard cards. And we also have Fear of Missing Out. Fear of Missing Out not only give us a discard, it also help us with Delirium, or it also help us when we get Delirium to get a double attack. Can you imagine when we have a Marauding Mako or a Scouring Skyray that got pumped with an NT so that it has Trample, and then we Fear of Missing Out to have it double attack in one combat. Remember, each time we attack, we also trigger NT, which means then we get another counter on our Mako or our Skyray, and yes, that's right, it is very scary. At least that's the idea. Now, the rest of the deck is kind of a shell to help us do that. So let's talk about the whole deck list, right? The early game, of course, we want to play our Marauding Mako. That's our turn 1 play. But we can back that up with a little bit of removal and interaction if we're going second, right? So 4 Torch the Tower and 2 Into the Flood Maw can remove our opponent's potential blocker or creatures that could potentially give us trouble in the early game. Turn 2, what we want to do is have Scouring Skyray. Along with that, we also have 3 Malcolm and 4 Fear of Missing Out and 4 Empty to make sure that we have a turn 2 play. It's a lot more important for this deck to have a on-curve turn 2 play. Turn 1 we can remove, but on-curve turn 2, we want to either have these sort of card draw effects in Fear of Missing Out and Malcolm. Not just card draw, but just looting effects are even better for this deck. And also Skyray and Inti are sort of the our attackers, right? So on turn 2, we want to be able to play these. Going to turn 3, of course, we have Kiora. Kiora is pretty good as a 3-drop, especially if we have a Mako or a Skyray out. That draws card, discard 2 card, makes sure, even if we have no card in hand, right? Drawing 2 cards and discarding them immediately gives our creature buffs. And if we have NT on board, it also gives us an extra look at our top deck. So that's pretty important. And then another very good 3-drop that we have in the deck, the Brass Tunnel Grinder. This card makes us allow us to discard any number of cards in our hand and draw that many cards +1. So if you just got a bunch of junk in your hand, but you have a Mako or a Skyray out, you can just discard your whole hand and draw that many cards +1. But mainly buff your board by that many cards, which is delicious. It's very, very good effect. So yeah, Brass Tunnel Grinder. We don't really need to discover. We don't really need to flip it. It's just all that discard makes it very good. And also it's an artifact. Don't forget, we have Fear of Missing Out. To activate Delirium, we need to have 4 card types. Artifact is a card type, right? So we have creatures, artifacts, enchantments, instants. We have all kinds of stuff to kind of, and lands, all kinds of stuff to trigger Delirium if we wanted to. No sorcery in this deck, believe it or not. So yeah, we have to get Delirium by getting the artifact in the graveyard. That's probably needed. And then more interaction, we have 2 Skycrash to discard artifacts, 2 Field of Flame to deal 2 damage to the board, and 2 Clamorous Ironclad to have a menacing 6/3 creature on board, or 6/3 vehicle on board. But really, all of these are just cycling cards, right? Cycle, cycle, cycle. We don't really want those cards. They're situational at best, but they can cycle and pump our board and activate NT. So all that is, I think, is pretty good. So these situational cards, I'm going to put them to the side. They're mostly for cycling. And then our land base, of course, we're very aggressive. So our land base is 22 lands only. We got 5 islands, 5 mountains, 4 River Pyre Verge. I'm going to get used to saying that. It's very hard to pronounce if you say it fast. River Pyre Verge, 4 Shivan Reef, and 4 Spirebluff Canal. So we got our blue, red, dual lands. They're all quick, right? These are all quick lands. None of them come into play. Tapped in the early games, very important. And then we have basic lands. We definitely need to hit off our turn 1, turn 2 plays. Otherwise, this deck will kind of flounder. It is a very aggressive deck. We have to get the aggro going. And so that's what we're going to try to do. And that is the whole idea. Now let's go into the games. Alright, our opponent is the Kurarugi. Kurararugi. Okay, we got 4 lands in our 20 land deck. And we got a torch. And that is it. Terrible hand to keep, but this is my first time playing this deck. I'm gonna see if it's good. I think I'm just gonna cycle this. Get to a better... Okay, never mind. Perfect time to get rid of a creature. Mountain. Well, we get to discard a lot of cards, right? So there's at least that. Deep Cavern back. Well, let's get out our Malcolm. So they can't target our Malcolm. They probably target a Kiora. But then Malcolm can attack. Ooh, okay, that's... Not as... Oh, okay, you know what? NT does NT things. Discard card. Put it on Malcolm. It's not a land. We draw a card and we discard a card. Ironclad? Wait, what does NT do? Let's see. When you discard one more card, you may play that until the end of your next end step. Oh boy. Okay. That's kind of tricky. Well, we'll discard as NT then. We do trigger it again. Okay, third NT. Shuffler's doing shuffler things. Now we can discard the Ironclad and draw an extra card. Not sure if that's gonna... Oh, okay. Maybe not. That's not gonna matter here too much. Room Lurker Bat. He attacks? Interesting. I ain't gonna block it. What do I get here? Brass Tunnel Grinder. He keeps it at the top. I guess he likes that. Definitely gonna Grass Tunnel Grinder here. But do I discard first? No. Discard 2 cards. I draw 3 cards. And I also exile a card. Oh boy. Okay. So then we attack. I want to keep the Verge, right? Yeah, I want to keep the Verge. Do I attack with the NT too? Is he gonna double block the NT? I don't think so. Let's discard card. I get another card and I'll buff the NT. So you can't double block, and I have trample. He does double block. He double blocked the trample? Yo. Draw a card, discard a card. I can't really play the grinder again anyways. That's kind of dead. Alright, we'll play a land here. We got a torch, otherwise I'd lose it. So let's torch Le Bat. Now he gets to bring something back, right? He gets to bring all 3 of those back if he gives me a card. But we are doing a lot of damage on board. Yep, we are doing... Yeah, there it is. Gives me a card. Brings all 3 of those back. I mean, yeah, I get the double block. I just don't know why he didn't block Malcolm. It wasn't trample. Another grinder? Okay, I don't want to play this grinder. I guess we just attack. No sharks, right? I just attack here. No, I don't think an NT is going to attack. Because he just blocks the LSL core and then I kind of lose it. So, let's discard a card. Give our Malcolm trample. And I got a land. Okay, well, we'll play our land. We'll play the Mako. And I guess we'll play the... playing the Fear here makes me discard my Kiora. Is it... You may? Discard a card and draw a card. It's not a may. So, is there a way out of not discarding my Kiora? No, there isn't. Alright. Those are not good cards to draw, unfortunately. Essence Channeler. He can give it flying by paying himself. Doesn't want that land? He probably has another land, right? Another Runelurker Bats. Now he can't give it flying anymore. That's interesting. Right? There's two Runelurker Bats, but the Essence Channeler can't fly no more. Is he going to attack? He doesn't attack. We'll pass to the end. He gets a Scry 2. This is an interesting battle. Our opponent definitely is not playing a bad deck. In fact, I think it's playing one of the best decks out there. So, 2 damage to each creature. That kind of gets rid of his board. It's instant too. So, yeah, I think we do it. Let's go all in for the attack. Right, let's do the NT first. I want to make... Which one am I discarding? I mean, which one am I double attacking? Probably the Malcolm. Let's pump it to this. And then 2 damage to each creature. Gets rid of his whole board. I take 3, but yeah. You can block blocks. Empty. Alright, I think we got it. Yep. GG! Yay, we got there. Yeah, they were playing very good deck, but didn't draw there. Alright, our opponent is the Boy Genius. Boy Genius is letting us go first. That's not a smart move. You shouldn't let people go first if you're a genius. Ah, man, that means I'm an idiot. That means I'm the biggest idiot in the world. At least this game, I gotta go first. Marauding Mako with no way to buff it. Nah, Malcolm will do a little bit of work. Fountain 4 turn 1, that's... Yo. You sure about that? They gotta have something, right? I don't think... Whatever land you have, I don't think you would dump a Fountain 4 turn 1. Oh, Mirror's turn 2. Okay, so that changes the entire equation. Makes a lot more sense. But I'm Malcolm. He's letting Malcolm out. He's gonna kill Malcolm, right? Don't think he's gonna kill the Mako. Malcolm looks scarier. Get lost. Malcolm has gotten lost. Did we just grind everything? I discard 2 cards, I draw 3 cards. Sorry, 3 cards, I draw 4 cards. I mean, I think so. I really just want Inti with the Mako. And there he is. We even get the, what is that called? Descent? Well, he doesn't have basic land, that's why he's playing this. And it's GG. Ah yeah, boy genius. Let me go first. Don't play basics in your deck. This is what happens. Alrighty, our opponent is the Umazawa's Latte. Cool name. I gotta give it to our opponent, right? He's came up with a pretty funny name. Well, this hand is... It's a hand. It's got empty. Maybe it'll help us draw into something good. I hope they have stuff for me to burn. Or an artifact for me to crash. Oh, they're red. Cool. That's something. Our hero. Let's get this party started. Fear. I don't think I fear. I think I NT first. He can burn the NT. You can also burn the fear. Like it's... he's gonna burn. Okay. I guess you couldn't burn the fear if I did that, but, you know, there was no guarantee of that happening. So now we fear. Scar a land. Get a brass on a grinder. I do want to torch the higher claw, but maybe I just let him attack and use his mana. Yeah, you know what? Gotta hold back a little bit. Otherwise I run out of cards. Second higher claw is okay. Now it's a problem. Every attack is 2 damage. Okay, now it's a real problem. Swift Sphere? I guess if he attacks I can block it, right? There's at least that. So he doesn't attack. Do I kill... I gotta kill one of them. The higher claws can all pump themselves. But the Swift Sphere gets pumped by just having anything on board, so... Yeah... I mean, Brass on the Grinder draws 2, discards 2. And Kiora also draws 2 and discards 2, so... Let's do that. Draw 2, and we discard 2. Ooh, boy, that is a card I want. Because I had to drop a land. Brass on the Grinder is pretty good, right? Don't need that many lands. I got instant, lands, creature, no sorcery. Don't think there's an artifact that I had to hit. Yeah, it's kind of tricky. Maybe I put this in... No. I put the land in the graveyard. I would have 4. Nah. Let's do it this way. And then I don't attack. Now, this attack is like 9 damage. I mean, okay, this is not gonna work out. It's Shuffler doing Shuffler things. I was 1 card off from the Field of Flame. If I draw Field of Flame instead of Kiora, this game would have been over. I can hope that he like goes after my Kiora, right? If he goes after my Kiora, he might not pump the higher claws, and I might have a chance. If he pumps the higher claws at all, I think I'm screwed. So there's that. Just 9 damage. Straight up. Block a little bit. Maybe he tries to kill the Kiora. Is it not 9 damage? Is that not how it works? Is it not each attack triggers it 3 times? I don't think I gained any life. Okay. Okay, he didn't do it. He didn't do it. So that means this happens, right? Yeah. Cool. Not great, but here we are. You know, still in the game. We got a Fear missing out that does literally nothing here. They got a Manifold Mouse that gets double strike. He definitely gets the double strike. Oh man. Do I drop the Flood Maw? I already played a bunch of Torch. So I can't really justify dropping the Flood Maw here. Yeah, it just draws 2 cards. Oh, I draw a Torch. Okay. Well, you know, it might work out. I get 2 attacks per turn. Might as well use it. He can kill the Fear, but if he kills the Fear with his last spell, then he's out of spells, which is also good for me. But if he doesn't, then here I'm gonna hold back. Yeah, then we can kind of cycle this. His Manifold Mouse is scary, right? It's gonna double strike. Oh, okay. There's a lot of Manifold Mouse coming. And I guess the trick is I have to figure out how to get around this. Those double strikes right now are not the end of the world. But it does look like it's gonna hurt. Double strike, trample. I get another Fear. Alright, another Fear is happening. I guess I attack first. Alright. Keep all the mana up. I attack first. What would you like to do? When it's attack for the first time each turn. Okay, no attack, no second attack. And I'll play a Fear. Discard the Ironclad. Okay, third Fear. I just want to get a Tunnel Grinder going, but doesn't seem like it's even gonna matter too much. Double strike, trample. Double strike, trample. So I cannot bounce the Manifold Mouse. I can bounce the token, but I can only torch. Double strike, trample. Let's go. Lightning Strike kills one, but it doesn't kill the other one. Yeah. Okay, just letting this creature die. My turn. Kiora. Do I Kiora? Oh man, that's really scary with 2 Manifold Mouse on board, right? But if I Kiora, this becomes a land that's red. Okay, that's good. 3, right? Whenever if there are 3, remove the counter and transform it. I draw 2, discard 2. Okay, well, now... Those aren't lands, huh? I always think Kiora's discard 2, draw 2, but it's not. It's draw 2, then discard 2. I forget that I get to look at those cards first. But I descended. So... this should do. I can't bounce, but I can torch. And he's got 1 card, so... that means if my Kiora survives... oh, you just quit. That works too. Take that, red. I'm also playing red, but I'm more blue. Alright, our opponent is Lord Mormont. Mormont? Again, opponent goes first. Yeah, well... at least we got a removal. But nothing to play till turn 3. Is that... I don't want to play an aggro deck with nothing to play till turn 3. Keep 6. Put away the land. Well, is it Malcolm or Inti turn 2, right? That's the question. So, I guess we put away Malcolm because we're Inti turn 2. Alright. We're fighting the possum. Awesome possum. No. Not good. It's gonna burn it right away. Okay, no, that's probably a pump spell then. What is he gonna play? Emberheart Challenger. So it's gonna be a race. A race that we're already behind on, unfortunately, but maybe NT can help us get there. I don't think I need a Skycrash, so... Hey, you never know. Maybe it'll come in handy later. I was not paying attention to how important it could be. A lot of people are like squeamish when you exile cards with NT and don't get to play it because you lose the spells. But this is a commander. You're not going to go through your whole deck in most cases. So it's like you never draw them, right? Just ignore it. It's fine. Next turn's where our Mako gets real big, real fast. But of course, they have Manifold Mouse, so... Both of our double strikes could be scary. Unfortunately, our opponent got to go first, so... That double strike is scarier. Here comes the Monster's Rage. Yes. We're down to 6. These are not burn spells. Kiora's not gonna help here, right? I don't know what can I do to help. I guess I can make this Mako a 6. Just trade with the Challenger. Even if it even trades. Alright, NT attack first. Okay, yes, Skyray's not gonna do it. I was hoping for a burn spell. This draws 2 and discards 2, right? This discards 1 and draws 2, so yours better. Also gives me a new blocker. Oh, Jesus Christ. How long? Is that even in standard? Wait a minute. Is this... They probably re-released it in, whatchamacallit? Innistrad? No, the, crap, what is it called? Anyways, whatever. Not gonna bother. Re-released it in... Foundations. There you go. That's the thing I was thinking of. Against Haste. Against Haste. I can discard 1 card. I can discard 2 cards. Doesn't get there with just that, so... Grind. Discard 1 card and draw 2 cards. I do get a torch. Can I get a mountain? I do get a mountain. Alright. Well, that's insane. Sack. It's a scry. It's not a discard, unfortunately. Oh wait, no. That was it? How'd I get... Oh, the torch. Yes. Oh, that's insane. Okay. I have an 8/8, right? He's gonna have 2 attackers. I mean, is attacking with Kiora not good enough? I get an 8/8. Does it take action? Yes. Discard to draw a card. Put it on Kiora. Mako. Mako is gonna go away. Sentinel. Alright. You're gonna give it haste? Heartfire Hero. So no haste. If I can give my Scion Trample, then he blocks with the Sentinel. He takes 4. And then he blocks this, so he takes 3. Actually, no, that's it. I would decline this. Discard a card. Let's get this Trample. Also draw a card, but it's just a reef. Alright. 9 trample. So he blocks, if not 4, right? He takes 5. And then even if he Heartfire heroes the Kiora, Inti still kills him. Oh my god, we got there. We beat the awesome possum. We are the more awesome, more possum gamer. GG. Alright, our opponent is the Daba. Is it Daba? This avatar is terrible. This is just like white next to the name so no one can read it. I mean, yes, but no 1-drops is always bad. Nightmare. Wolf. We'll drop the fear. There's 2 of them in my hand. I don't think I have enough time to do it. And then we're gonna get Pixied. We didn't get Pixied. Well, not yet. It's gonna happen. We're gonna get nowhere to run. Is there a counter spell? Or this town ain't big enough? It's just this town, okay. There's a Pixie too. Do I care about the Pixie? Do I just get 2 things out? It's not gonna pump the Pixie any more than this, right? Also, insert a Scar card and then I draw a card. So if I have no cards in hand, I just draw a card. Cool. It's pumping my whole board here. Thank you. Yeah, you did that. Good job. Another Mako. I mean, I kind of want to do this. Make my board stronger. If they got this town, I'm gonna torch the Pixie, right? Oh, okay. He's not even gonna... I mean, did I still torch the Pixie? Did I torch the Pixie in response to something? I mean, he could bounce the Pixie in response to me torching. That's the only thing, so let's get it gone. I'll discard it. Makes me think I want to keep the last card in my hand. I guess I sort of do, but I also don't really care too much. Let's go for the attack. Untap and Mako. Go for another attack. Alright, I'm gonna keep this island. He's gonna sack the Nightmare. Yes, the Nightmare is yours now. You have the Nightmare. 2 to the top, huh? Okay, he wants those cards. He wants them bad. Pixie. Lone Pixie. What is the deal with the Lone Pixie? I don't know, it's gotta be something, right? Oh, it's a shelter. I mean, yes, but your Pixie can't really attack. Can you get a Malcolm out? Oh, Fuel the Flame. Oh man, I had the Malcolm out too. Nope. Suck it, stupid Pixie deck. You deserve every loss. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you see all of those crazy cycling, discarding games, do you like this deck? It is a pretty aggressive deck. So far, I've been playing a lot of aggressive decks. in sort of a control slant. Of course, I'm more of a control player by trade, I guess, by heart, by habit. I don't know how to say it, but I usually always play control whenever we're playing in a constructed format. But whenever there's a new release, I like to try out these new sort of aggressive slants towards traditional control decks or traditional combo decks. And I think this is a pretty good combo, right? We're discarding a lot of cards, we're pumping our board, and we're going over the top with a giant shark or a giant Skyray. And you do have to play this in a little bit more of a control-y way compared to the normal aggro deck where you just turn cards sideways. Because in order for your combo to work, you have to think about what part of the combo do you care about more. So obviously we're going to play turn 1 Mako when we have it. That's not a problem. Turn 2, though, do we throw out the NT first? Do we throw out the Fear first? Do we throw out another Skyray to get more presence on board that gets buffed? Do we wait for a Malcolm so that we can kind of get underneath a removal spell, right? There's a lot of consideration on turn 2. This is what I noticed playing this deck today. It is not easy to play. It might look very straightforward. It might look like we're just discarding cards and winning the game, but it's not. There's a lot of thinking involved. I love the NT or the Mako NT combo where we discard a card, right? It get a +1/+1 from NT, it get a +1/+1 from its discard, and then it gets trample. And that's obviously the best case scenario. But of course, you put NT on board on turn 2. It means that it is a big target. And if you lose NT, you lose a very big engine in this game. And sometimes you won't draw the second NT for the longest time. So it may not be the best choice to play NT turn 2. It might be. I haven't played this deck enough to figure that out yet, but in a few games I was hesitant. Sometimes I play a little bit too safe, and that definitely does cost me games here or there. Another thing that I noticed, and I think I talked about it in the games, but one thing I noticed is that sometimes I feel like I get squeamish. I feel like people will also get squeamish whenever they use NT, they discard a card gets exiled from the top of their library, and they cannot play that card. They feel like they lost a card. And people hesitate on attacking or triggering NT because of that. And in my opinion, as I said in the games, I don't think that's too big of a deal. If you don't draw the card, well, if you don't draw out your entire deck, it's as though that card was at the bottom of your deck anyways. You're not going to see it, so it won't affect that game. And a lot of times, you just have to go with it when you're playing this style of deck where you're not grinding it out. You're trying to go over the top. You're trying to hold a big creature on the top of their head and hope to win that way, right? So this is where I believe you just throw out NT when you need to get the damage in. Obviously, turn 2, if you have other plays, you can double consider and think about whether or not it's better to have a Fear or better to hold a Malcolm. But if you have turn 1 Mako and turn 2 NT with nothing else definite, you don't have to hold back your Mako. Just attack. Even if you lose the top of your library, even the top of the library is a Kiora or something amazing, it's okay. You might never draw it anyways. So it's all about getting that tempo in. And, with these kind of aggro decks, you definitely need to show tempo and hold the board. That's how I feel. Another thing that I noticed today is I lost several times to a Shelter by Ghost. This deck is very good, but it does not get over a Shelter by Ghost. So even though a lot of times you might want to play around protection spells, you want to play around hexproofing, right? And I thought about that when I was trying to torch or Into the Flood Maw during our turn. I don't think that's a good idea. I think it's still better to hold interaction. If your opponent shelters by Ghost, then you killed whatever creature they're targeting in response, and that's definitely the better way to play it. The way I played it today definitely wasn't the best, and that's something that I learned after playing throughout all those games. And that's really all I got for you today. It's a very fun deck. I highly recommend it for you. It's not just turn your card sideways aggro, but it's also not I'm going to tap, go, and wait till one of us mill out kind of control. So it's kind of the middle ground, and it's got a little bit of combo built in. And I like that. That's all I got. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.